What's next, Ben?
So next up, we've got some more stuff from Games Workshop, and this was the announcement of some extra bits and pieces for Warhammer Underworlds. So you'll know that they've been expanding this and growing different warbands and things like that, but their two new ones are out for pre-order this weekend. The first of these are Yathari's Guardians, who are the Sylvaneth addition to the Warhammer Underworlds. So we've got a really cool look at this sort of like Fey faction within the world and sort of developing them as characters as well, which I thought was really cool. I've always said that I really quite like the sort of mix that they've done between nature and that sort of Fey elven ancestry that the Wood Elves always had in Warhammer fantasy. And while obviously there's not a lot of sort of crossover between the two of them, apart from things like tree men and that kind of thing, I really enjoy what they've done, that kind of like ghostly spirit aspect to these characters as well here. And I think it's a really dynamic and interesting looking warband as well. So it'll be really interesting to see how it plays. I know Games Workshop have done a couple of sort of preview articles over on their Warhammer community blog that you can go and check out, where they look at these in a bit more depth and stuff like that. But as well as being fun to play, hopefully these are going to be amazing to paint as well. And I may end up just buying this set just to paint them up, just like I have done with the Fire Slayers. I think that might be pretty cool. As well as that, they've also shown off the Thundrix Privateers. So if you like yourself some Caradron Overlords and some Duardin from the world of Age of Sigmar, dwarves to everybody else, you've got some really cool options here for some treasure hunters who are going out to go and explore the Mirrored City. The interesting thing about these guys is that it seems to be a very much sort of focused around the idea of range. Like a lot of the warbands either are very, very melee focused, or a sort of like a split almost mix between melee and range, whereas this one seems to very much rely on that idea of ranged combat. So that'll be very interesting to see how that works, especially with the whole idea of their heavy armor and their weird experimental guns and all that kind of things as well. So something tells me they've been listening to Skaven, maybe. But yeah, that would be a bad that would be a bad thing to say to a dwarf.
No. That is not Skaven tech right there. Never, ever, ever say that. Although I was actually...
It depends how many times they explode and kill your friends.
Yeah.
The only way to tell is to fire them off.
Well, I mean, like, I was talking to Ryan about these two warbands, and he's definitely up for the Sylvaneth one. He picked up the skeleton set, and then this was nice. And he was just like, but I have skeletons. What do you?
Now he can paint both of them in a strange, weird style that will make John cry. So
oh, don't even start.
I think that's key, really, as many different types of glitter as he can find.
Yeah.
The interesting other thing that came out of the news last weekend for Engage Workshop is that they do a series of store opening models. So whenever a new store opens, or it moves, or it's relocated, etc., they have a range of models that you can go and pick up to sort of celebrate that store coming into existence. And so they announced one of their new ones, which is the Stormcast you can see there, called Beric the Indomitable, or Indomitable. That's the way to say it, I suppose. And they did point out that he seems to have decapitated an orc or an Uruk with a hammer. And how exactly did he do that? With the god power of Sigmar, of course, was their answer. So yeah, very cool. They've also got another one there that has been out for a while called Lena Stormspire, and I believe they also do two 40k models as well. There's a Space Marine Captain and a Chaplain as well. So if you like the idea of getting some sort of cool exclusive miniatures from lots of store openings and things like that, just make sure to watch out for one that might pop up in your local area. So, yeah.
I do have a question here. So between these two characters, they're both standing on an orc's head. Is it the same orc's head? Did she chop its head off, let him pose, and then say, no, I need to pose myself?
No, because the one above's got part of the shoulder and the arm attached.
See.
Where she's just got the head.
I see.
Clearly got the proper clean cut to her kill.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there is one other bit of news for Games Workshop that people should be aware of, is that over on the Warhammer community page at the minute, they are doing their big survey.
Yes.
So basically collecting all the information they can of what their gamers are up to, what they're enjoying, what they think they can do to make things better, which I think is something really nice for them to be doing.
Yeah, it's very, very cool indeed. And it's nice to see Games Workshop still reaching out to people, which is pretty awesome. So,